So now we have a little bit of an idea of how much energy I use, and you've got a bit of a better idea of how much energy you use. But it's not just about me or you, it's about our families, it's about our whole community, it's about the whole country and the whole world, right? So how much is 11,400 watts, the average American's power consumption, a lot or a little? We can look at this chart and actually get a sense of that. We're not the largest power consumers in the world. That title goes to countries like Qatar and Iceland, but we're certainly not the least. 11,400 is about 5 times the global average of 2,200 watts of power per person. Canada uses a little more than us. That's because they live in a colder climate. Europe typically uses about half as much as we do. All right, so how do we produce all of that power for humanity? Well, today, most of it comes from natural gas, about 3 terawatts, coal, about 3.5 terawatts, oil, about 5 terawatts, that's the majority. Nuclear and hydroelectricity are the largest in the low-carbon generating technologies. And then there's plants and biofuels that are used mostly in developing nations. And then a smaller component is the renewable energies that are in fact going to be the solutions that we need in the future. So in the US in particular, we used about 3.5 terawatts of power in 2005. You can actually look at the history dating back all the way back to 1900, where we used less than half a terawatt. So our power consumption has grown hugely this century. Again, in the US, the majority is in oil, followed by coal, then natural gas, then nuclear, and then the renewables as we know them. What's the result of burning all of the fossil fuels, which are the majority of our power consumption? Well, here it is. We can actually look historically back to around 750, before, in fact, the Industrial Revolution, and we can add up the total amount of carbon dioxide that every nation in the world has produced since 1750. Unfortunately, in this case, America is number one. More than 90 billion tons of CO2 that is in the atmosphere. The source of that was America. In second place is the USSR. After that are countries like China and Britain and France. Those countries at the top have produced 75 or 80% of all the carbon dioxide that has ever gone into the atmosphere. So in terms of figuring out if we're solving for climate change, who goes first, it's pretty obvious that it's got to be those nations that put the majority of the carbon dioxide that's already there. They have to lead first. And number one is America.